Uh, RTTV is brought to you, or the Rooster Teeth podcast is sponsored by. The whole thing was a mess. We're running late. Hey everyone, welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Andrew. And I'm Barbara.
Eric, you told me to say /rooster and the graphics said /RTTV.
Listen, who can say what is supposed... The problem here is that where's Andrew is the thing we
He's
should
right
focus
there.
on, and not the problem thing that I messed up. Don't worry about it.
Classic deflection.
It made it sound like you forgot the name of what we were doing.
Well, I was going to say RT because I was doing the normal ExpressVPN Topper show. We do a different one for the RT podcast. So partway through, I realized it. And then to like stabilize where I was mentally, I looked at the URL on the screen and I was like, that's not even the right one.
Listen, who can say who did what and what problem was caused by who before the show other than Andrew messed up the whole thing by not being here. And can you believe it? I can't believe it. And that's what we should focus on. All right.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Andrew's running a little late. He'll be here in just a couple minutes. He's doing something else.
Right
that ran a little long.
there.
He better take that knife out of his mouth.
He's reading.
It's a little dangerous.
He's busy.
He's reading. Okay. Where should I start? I've actually got a couple things to talk about this week.
Oh shit!
I have one thing to talk about.
I'll start with something light since Andrew's not here yet. But I got so fucking annoyed the other day. Believe it or not, I know me annoyed about something.
All right, let me guess. Squirrel or possum
Raccoon.
or raccoon?
Good guesses, but no. The driving related. I was driving down the road, going straight in my lane, and someone to my left was in a left turn only lane, and I think they realized it, so they turned their right turn signal on, like to try to merge into my lane because they were going straight as well. And being a courteous driver, I was like, okay, they messed up. They missed the 4 signs warning them this was going to happen back there. But all right, I'm not going to be an asshole about it. I slowed down a little bit. They were able to get over, and we all proceeded going straight. A little down the road, we come up on a light, and the light's red. So the car that I let in front of me is the first car at the light. The light's red, and I'm right behind them. And waiting, the light turns green, and I wait, and we're not going. And I can look, and I can see in that guy's rearview mirror, I see him looking down at his phone doing something.
Oh, good.
So I get annoyed. And normally I give like a quick honk honk if someone's not going. But this time I just laid into it. I just laid honk. I wouldn't let go. And I was like, because I was annoyed, right? Like I let them in to begin with, and now they're doing this shit. The guy looks up, looks at me, makes eye contact in his rearview mirror, and then he starts honking back at me. And I was like, what are you doing? You're honking at me. You're the one who missed the light.
Also, you let him in.
Did it go through green to red again?
No, then after he stopped honking at me, then he finally went. I was like, you stopped, like you realized it was green, didn't even go, took the time to honk at me, and then went. Like, I was so fucking mad.
I don't know if you're the same way as me in terms of being a driver. Gavin, you can't relate yet because you're not driver yet, but someday you'll relate to this. But if I'm in a position where I fuck up when I'm driving and, like, for example, I'm in the left turn only lane, I'm like, shit, I actually have to go straight, and someone lets me in, I am so fucking focused now on not pissing anyone off, especially the person who let me in. So I'm like hyper focused. I mean, I'm always hyper focused on driving, but like extra courteous, extra paying attention, especially if that person let me in and I fuck up again. I'm not gonna honk at them. Like, what the fuck?
I was mad. I was so mad.
When did that happen? How did everyone who's in a car just start acting the same way? It would never happen outside of a car. Like if you were in line at McDonald's and the guy was looking at his phone, you wouldn't ever go, hey! And he would just stand there and go, hey! It just wouldn't happen.
But I would go, hey, you're next. Go over there. I mean, I've had that happen before in a line at a fast food place.
You wouldn't yell at him though. You'd probably tap him on the shoulder and be like, excuse me, I think you're next.
I definitely wouldn't say excuse me. I would say, hey, go over there. Fucking dumb.
Fucking dumb.
So annoying.
I think people also are just like, I don't know what it is, because anytime I have to drive somewhere, I feel like everyone is less patient, less courteous, like just fucking dickheads when I drive around anywhere now. And I don't know if it's like because people aren't driving as much because of the pandemic, or if people are just on edge because of the world and politics and everything like that. But it is not fun to drive.
It's always bad in Austin in general. I think it's because so many new people are always moving here that there's always, and then also couple that with the university where there's a bunch of like young people who are also moving here. There's a lot of people driving on the roads in Austin for the first time or who have not driven very much on the roads. So it's like,
true.
I've lived here for almost 23 years now. Like I know which lanes are going to end, like which lanes you need to turn. Like I've been here long enough where it's second nature for me. And I forget that there's a lot of people experiencing those roads for the first time and don't realize it.
It's also such a mix of different types of drivers in this city because you have people from LA, people from New York, people from other places in Texas. Like, so it's just like a big group of people who have different driving styles, I guess. Like at least if you're in New York, you got New York drivers, you know what you're getting into. Everyone is kind of aggressive and the same. And if like you're in a small town, Texas, people are a little like maybe slow moving and stuff like that. But Austin is like a combination of all the shitty drivers in one place.
Yeah, it's like a wonderful melting pot of shitty drivers from all over the country. Yeah, and we see it all the time. It's very, very frustrating.
Gavin can't wait to drive, can you?
Yeah.
Well, we're getting there. I mean, we'll have self-driving cars here relatively soon. You'll probably get one of those, right, Gavin? You don't have to drive.
Dude, if it works like it does in Cyberpunk, I think that'd be wicked.
No, I definitely don't want anything the way it works in Cyberpunk.
That just comes to you. Could you have it drive you when you're in it? I've just driven myself in Cyberpunk, but you can summon it.
Yeah, you can skip the driving portion.
That game's it's got some issues.
I've heard it.
I had a thing last night where it was yesterday. I was playing Cyberpunk, and I came to a scene where I was meeting a guy in the back of a butcher shop, right? And I walk in, and he's got his back to, well, he leads me into the back of the butcher shop, and he's got his back to me, and he's like looking at the counter. And then my character has some dialogue about how he thought chickens were illegal or something. I'm like, the fuck is he talking about? There's no chickens here. And I look at the counter in front of the guy, and I realize like off to the side of him, there's the head of a chicken, just the head, nothing else. It's like laying on the counter. I'm like, that's weird that there's a chicken head just right there. And then the guy that I'm talking to says something about the chicken, and then he like pulls up a cleaver, and then as he's swinging the cleaver down, the head disappears and a chicken appears on the counter in front of him, and he cuts the head of the chicken off, and the newly decapitated head rolls over to the spot where the head of the chicken was earlier.
What? Yeah, I feel like, so I should preface it by saying I'm playing on PC, so I guess I'm not experiencing a lot of the issues that was it previous gen console. What's the people complaining about? Is it the Xbox One and PS4 versions?
Yeah, Xbox and PS4.
So I've not touched either of those versions, so I should say that. But it is glitch central. Not enough to ruin the game for me, but just to really ruin some moments. Like there was quite an emotional scene in the back of a car where someone had to pull. This is spoiler free. Someone pulled a chip out of their head, gave it to me, but the chip. Like the model got swapped to a gun. So as he was about to pull it out, a gun appeared through his head, a pistol, just like sticking out the side of his head. Like the trigger was here, the barrel was sticking out, and I was like, "What the hell?" And then he just reaches into his head to pull the chip out, hands me a gun. I take the gun and put it in my head, and I was like, "What is going on?" It was so goofy looking. I wish I'd recorded it. But,
yeah, there's a lot
really took me out of the moment.
There's a lot of strange glitches like that. Like I was in a conversation with an NPC who was smoking, and then like as he's holding the cigarette, all of a sudden there's just a cigarette floating in the air. Like he still has a cigarette in his hand, but like the remnant of where it was a few seconds ago is just floating in the air. And I'm like, why is it's just sitting there? It's like the one that's floating in the air is not lit, but the one in his hand is lit. I was like, I wonder if I move my camera, if it'll go away. So I moved the camera just to look a little to the right, and then it disappeared.
Yeah, there's a ton of like stuff that I would have assumed would have been noticed and fixed. Like sometimes I get a hint come up, and I will just get stuck there for like half an hour. Even if I pause, it's like over the pause menu. It's like, how is that on a released game?
I feel like it's also difficult to find the zone where you have to like engage with someone to get the talk dialogues. Like sometimes I'll look at someone
weird.
I should be able to hit X to talk to them. Then it won't pop up. Then I have to like look away and look back. It's like, okay, now I can hit X to talk to. I'm playing on Series X.
And that game was delayed how many times? 3 times.
It was supposed to come out, I think, like in March or April of this year initially.
Yeah.
The frustrating thing is you can see that it's a decent game under that.
Right.
Like it.
Yeah.
I've done some missions that I thought were amazing, but it's definitely missing something. Like it doesn't feel like the living, breathing world that I was expecting. It doesn't feel like GTA 5 where you're walking around. You actually feel like people are doing stuff. I honestly feel like quite detached from the world, even though it looks very nice. However, I still don't think ray tracing is worth the performance hit. Like it looks so good, but the game also looks good without that. So I feel like dropping 20, 30 frames just to have that on isn't ever worth it for me.
Yeah.
Also, I can't get HDR to work at all. I don't know if it's broken or what, but every time I turn on HDR and I like raise the peak brightness to what my display is, it like brings up all the blacks as well. So it looks really mucky and gray, and I can't figure out how to get actual HDR and not just slide the dynamic range up and down as a lump, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so it's like almost like adjusting brightness instead of an HDR. Like
I don't know what it's doing.
Setting.
I turn off HDR and it looks much better, like much deeper blacks. Just it's dimmer.
Yeah, the HDR calibration in the console version of that game I didn't think was very good. Like when you go into the settings and you calibrate, it like flips between 2 different images to show you what you're doing to the screen. But it's like I feel like what I'm changing has no effect really on them. It doesn't.
Yeah. And it's not helpful that it switches between 2 images to me.
Right.
I'm just like tweaking. I'm like, wait for a bit.
And you guys said you were both playing on the PC?
I'm on the
Series
Xbox Series X. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But I'm excited. I might just hold off for a little bit, wait for some patches, because I think it's going to be good.
Have you guys been able to get the PS5, by the way?
No, I really want one.
Did you get?
No.
God,
They're
impossible.
This is the first PlayStation console since the original PlayStation that I won't have at launch. Like I bought a PS2 at launch, I bought a PS3 like a week after launch, PS4 at launch, and the PS5 I've not had any luck.
It's so sad seeing people fall for things on eBay. Like I've seen a couple listings of people selling just the PlayStation 5 box, and like they're very clear that it's the box, and it's going for like $400, $500, $600.
They've been doing that every generation.
No, I know. It's just like
not,
crazy
I've
to
seen
me.
where they're not scamming, like what Barbara's talking about. Like they're very clear in the description, like
box
this
only.
is just the box only. And it's people are still buying, like they're not reading. Like in the title, it'll say PS5 box only, and then in the description, like you are not getting the actual console. This is just the box, and it'll be hundreds of dollars.
Do you think they're buying the box so they can scam other people by not saying that it's the box? Like they just want the box.
Maybe.
I feel bad because like I could only imagine there's people buying those who are like parents or grandparents trying to get their kid or grandkid a present for Christmas, and they're like, I found the PlayStation, I'm gonna buy it, and it's just the fucking box. Like those are the people probably getting scammed, and it hurts my heart because everyone just wants to do something nice for Christmas or the holidays.
I think I'll try and get a PS5 at some point, but there's nothing I'm desperate to play on it yet. I feel like I'm still. Yeah, but I'm still working on the Xbox stuff, the PC things.
Yeah.
I finally finished Gears Tactics, which you had talked about a couple of weeks ago, Gavin. It's a good game. Yeah. I had a couple of bugs in that game, but I'm not going to complain about those anymore after playing Cyberpunk for 6 hours or so. I'm never going to complain about a bug in another game again.
The bit I got stuck on was the Corpser fight. Did you find that difficult, or did I just pick a really shitty team?
You must have picked a shitty team. I passed that in my first attempt.
Damn,
it was tough. It was tough.
Taken me like 12,
but I did pass it.
Kept stamping on my dudes.
The last boss fight was kind of difficult. It took a bit. It's a lot to manage. Man, last week I talked about how there was that movie poster auction for the benefiting the Alamo Draft House. Tim League was auctioning off a bunch of movie posters.
Did you get the Die Hard one?
No, I didn't. That I should cheat. I see how much it went for. That auction was supposed to end Sunday night, and there were a couple. There were like 170, I think, that I was really interested in. But there's no way I was going to buy that many. So I started looking. I started like keeping tabs on a few that I really wanted, but they all ended up going for way more than I wanted to spend. So I didn't end up buying any, but they got a lot of money from it. That Die Hard one ended up going for $775, by the way.
Damn.
Oh,
deserved.
So it was cool.
That auction
was a cool poster. That auction was supposed to end on Sunday night, But when I started going in to see, like, place bids and see, you know, how my auctions were doing, like, the site just became unresponsive. Like 45 minutes before the auction ended, I couldn't get in anymore. It was just like locking up. Yeah, so they had to extend all of the auctions 24 hours. They extended them all to today instead, because I guess there was so much traffic on their website that they just weren't able to handle it. If you think about it,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just like, it's like what I say, like almost 2,300 posters that were all ending, I think, one every 3 seconds. They were ending within 3 seconds of each other. So it's a bunch of people going in to get like last minute bids in.
Yeah.
It's like you're dealing with a ton of people refreshing on a ton of different items. Like, it's got to be a nightmare to try to serve.
I'm just thinking of like someone who has been like in a bidding war for something with someone, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, there's only like 2 minutes left, like 3, 2, 1, crash, and they're like, we're gonna add another 24 hours to this.
Yeah, there was one poster that I really wanted, and I was bidding quite a bit on it. And then it just went crazy. Like, I looked, they ended the auction today. The one I wanted ended at $255. It's like, I'm not paying $255 for a poster. So it is what it is. But hopefully they raised a lot of money for the Draft House.
Yes, for sure. We love the Draft House. Big part of Austin.
Yeah.
I started watching the Lord of the Rings on 4K extended versions, which are very long. Watched Fellowship. It was like 3 hours, 40 minutes or something. It looks good, man. It's a really good 4K remastering, I guess. I think Peter Jackson oversaw the process himself, but somehow held himself back from George Lucasing it and didn't change any of the shitty stuff. The stuff that hasn't held up well. He just kind of left it. I assume they've done some like denoising of the film grain slightly, which you could say is a slight change, but it looks so good. It looks I forgot how good those movies are.
It's funny, you were talking about that, those extended versions, and like, I really gave it like last night I was like, all right, I gotta get those. I'm gonna watch them maybe this weekend, but if you watch all 3 of the extended versions, I want to say it's like 11 hours of movie.
Yeah, you got to treat it differently. Like, instead of just imagine like you're watching an entire season of Game of Thrones,
all in one
that
sitting.
length. Well, yeah, but you're watching it in. I mean, if you take a break every time the disc changes, you'll do it in 6 sittings. Each movie spread across 2 discs.
Jesus, it's so long. But yeah,
it's funny. Like the first disc ends at around like an hour 40, which some movies are that length, and it's the bit where they're all like gathering around the ring, forming the Fellowship, and they're pretty much, all right, let's go, and then the disc ends. It's like, imagine if that was a movie. Nothing has happened yet.
God, what a place to end it too, or
it'd be
break
like,
it at least.
It'd be like the Hobbit movies, right? Where it's like they just stretch it so far out.
I'll be honest, I've never seen. I saw one Hobbit movie. I think I saw the middle one. I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't see the others.
You could change that. Got some time. They're pretty good. They're pretty fun. I don't know if I would like compare them to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but they're pretty fun. I like the first one.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch.
I'm sure there's ways to watch it online, right? You got to be able to stream it somewhere.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll look later. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to watch the Lord of the Rings movies again. It's been a while since I watched them. I'll probably watch them this weekend. I've been looking for more things to watch, like always. I watched that Selena series on Netflix. I don't know if anybody else watched that.
No.
It's like part 1 of the story, so it's only like 9 episodes. Yeah, it's 9 episodes for part 1, and it covers from like when she's a little girl to when like she's starting to gain popularity. And the town I grew up in makes a small cameo in that series, where she's performing a concert and basically a riot breaks out, and it's like a super dangerous situation, and they have to leave. And I feel like in all of the episodes, whenever they play concerts, they may like briefly talk about where they're going or where they were, but I feel like they must have really hated my hometown, because afterwards they make it a point to say over and over how dangerous that town was and how they need to get security. And they need to rethink everything that they're doing, because the town I grew up in was so dangerous because of all the fighting.
Oh man!
I was like, they must have had a really negative memory about it to have reinforced it that much.
You know what I've been watching the shit out of? Survivor. we randomly started watching. So they have season 20 and 28, I believe, on Netflix. And I was like, you know what? I used to love Survivor as a kid. I'm going to start watching season 28 because I never saw that one. And I'm like, fuck, I forgot how addictive the show was. And I'm like, God, it's a shame that they only have 2 seasons on Netflix. I went to a different streaming app, Hulu, and they have all 34 seasons or up to 34 seasons on it, 1 to 34. And I'm like, well, this is what I'm doing for the rest of quarantine.
Jeez, how many years worth is that?
It's I think they do 2 every year. So
that's like 40 years.
17 years.
Yeah, I think the first season of Survivor was 2001 or 2002.
I think it was 2000 actually. They're still going with it. I think they're up to season 40 now, which would be 2022 every year.
Man, I'm really happy you told me this, Barbara, because I've been wanting to rewatch season 1 of Survivor, and I thought it was only on CBS All Access. But if it's on Hulu, I've already got Hulu, so
it is.
I can go back and watch it.
I don't like the way they craft it. It's like, to me, the quintessential reality show. It's so well done, and the way they hook you, especially now because you could watch it on a streaming service, you have to wait week to week like you would back in ye old times. But the way they do it, where they have a vote at the end, you don't get to see like anyone's reactions or what the other team thinks or anything like that. You're like, well, I gotta at least start the next episode to see that. It's so great. I love it. Yeah. Check it out.
So what season shall I start with? Oh, it's Andrew. What's up, dude?
Hey! Andrew. We're talking about Survivor.
I'm back, baby.
I think season 1 was amazing. Like that was when it came out, I thought it was like we're talking about Survivor. I don't know if I said that. Okay. Such a groundbreaking piece of television when it came out.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go back and watch that.
Yeah. But, Gavin, I would say if you really want to get into it, I would start at season 1, because if you keep going season by season, there's some seasons that bring back certain contestants, or like they have like a best of season where they bring back like a couple different favorites from previous seasons. So if you're going to watch it, I would do like sequential or just pick a random one. 28 was a great season if you want to watch that one.
Every time I think of Survivor, I always think about that 30 Rock bit and from like season 3 called MILF Island. It's 13 hot moms, 7 8th grade boys. Just like a completely ridiculous bit that I honestly don't know how they got away with on network primetime TV. But hey, it's a hysterical, fantastic bit. MILF Island, a fantastic fake show.
30 Rock was good.
Oh, so good. Even its like weakest seasons were better than anything else on TV at the time.
Yeah. And I felt like it never really gained traction in the ratings. Like that was never a really highly rated show. It was very critically acclaimed and an amazing show, but it was never like #1 show in America or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's what it's like, oh, it won 1,000 Emmys and never cracked like top 5 shows. Like like the critics loved it, and like fans of it absolutely adore it. Often memed, often quoted, but like for some reason like didn't gain the like cultural purchase or like ubiquity of like The Office or something like that. Yeah.
There's an episode where Tracy Jordan talks about a project that he had to do. I think it was a movie called Werewolf Bar Mitzvah, and I think about
Werewolf Bar Mitzvah.
Maybe once a week. Yeah, boys becoming men becoming wolves.
maybe the best fake song ever. Well, I mean, it's a real song, but maybe the best fake songs ever created specifically for a gag, like in a show. Like just absolute home run. Werewolf Bar Mitzvah, spooky, scary. But have you ever heard the whole song? There's a whole they recorded a whole.
No, there
track.
is.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I haven't.
Oh yeah, it was written by. Of course, it was written by Donald Glover. He wrote it. And yeah, he's like on the track. There's like a full like 2.5 minute Werewolf Bar Mitzvah track, which is just like full of like references to Jewish tradition and bar mitzvahs, and it's hysterical. It's very good. Highly recommend. Go check it out.
We filmed a video that's gonna come out soon, where I sat down with some people from the Rooster Teeth group and we did some Hanukkah Mad Libs, and I wanted to play a Rabbi Barbara character, and the whole time, I'm Jewish. I just want to say that. I was born from a Jewish family. I grew up Jewish, all that stuff. And the whole time, all of us were like, is this offensive?
Yeah, like we were like, man, we're really riding that line. Like, I don't know. Like, we're trying to be very respectful and learn, and but oh man, yeah, it was a lot of head scratching.
So I think that video is going to come out on social at some point this week. But I'm playing Rabbi Barbara. I am teaching my friends the story of Hanukkah, and it was very fun.
Teaching them about Hanukkah, why not? Come on.
Speaking of videos we filmed, I feel like we need to give the audience a heads up about something.
Yeah.
We should do that.
Andrew, we talked about this right before.
Yeah.
If it's
I don't know
what
what
I'm
you're talking
thinking of.
We filmed a video last year before COVID, end of last year, like November.
November
that-
2019, to be exact.
Yeah.
And that we wanted to release for the holiday season last year, but there was a timing issue and we weren't able to release it. So we put it on the shelf and we thought, we'll just release it holiday 2020. And that video is coming out Wednesday?
Tomorrow.
It's coming out this week. It's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this past Saturday, SNL did a skit that's pretty much exactly the same thing.
It is, I mean, no joke. Beat for fucking beat. I don't know how it happened. I don't know if there is a spy in our midst, but I swear to God, it was terrifying to see because it's literally the same skit. And we're putting it up tomorrow.
And you've just been sat on it for a year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a holiday, like it didn't work out timing wise, but it's a holiday short, so it's like we can't release this like in January. It wouldn't make any sense. So it's like, well, perfect. We'll shelve it for a year. It'll still, it'll still be good.
Yeah.
It's got a, it feels evergreen to us. So we're like, fantastic. That just means in December of next year, we won't have to like think of a thing to like put out. It's just one piece of content we won't have to worry about next holiday season. Bah, bah, womp, womp.
It's also like, we wanted to save it because especially during the holidays, like people want to take time off. So our editorial team like has a lot of stuff to do. So if we have a video that we already have in the can to release, it's like, great. That's bonus content essentially for us.
Exactly.
And then over the weekend, I guess, was it Sunday morning that you messaged?
Sunday morning, Blaine like dropped it in the Slack, a weekend Slack, so you know it's serious. It was just like the link to the skit with Rut-Row. And like I played it, and like first of all, I like saw from the title of the video in the Slack, I was like, motherfucker. So I played it, and I was expecting like, oh, it's just kind of the same premise, and then it starts playing, and I'm like, this is like. Again, like Barbara said, beat for beat, the same, like it has like the same cadence and kind of moments. Granted, I think ours is funnier. I think it escalates to a funnier place and like gets more, wacky. It's a little bit more, goes to 11. But but it really was just like, oh, and now this other character is entering at the exact same time our character enter. Oh my God. Oh,
but like
boy.
There's even like the guy in it does the same pose at one point that Blaine does in it, and it's just like I
did we have someone who worked on it who left and then went to SNL?
Bernie?
Bernie!
Yeah, we used Bernie's drone for some of the shots in it. So maybe he's the spy.
Maybe he's the spy. He's the mole. It was just one of those things where it's like I expected when I saw the title. I expected it's like, oh, I mean, man, it's probably a little similar. And then when I like watched it, I was like, okay, well, shit. Like, well, but you know what?
It's scary to sit on stuff like that. Happened with an old $1 Million Butt where we filmed it for Christmas, but for some reason missed Christmas with it, so we put it out the following Christmas. I think it was you, me, and Blaine, Barbara.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
But for some reason, it just didn't come out at Christmas and then came out a year later. But I don't think anyone really noticed.
Yeah, we had an issue that we ran into that we just couldn't release it in time. And like, it would have been ready by like early January, but at that point, it makes no sense. So we were just like, we'll just hold it for next December. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Also,
dun, dun.
It makes me mad because we were talking about release dates for the short, and we're like, oh well, it's about Christmas and something for Christmas shopping, so maybe we'll put it out like right at the beginning of December. And we're like, no, we'll hold it for mid-December, just so it's like right in the middle of things and stuff like that. God, I wish we put it out last week.
Yeah. But I guess like the reason we're giving everyone a heads up is like so nobody like first of all it would be impossible to rip it off, right? Like even if they aired it Saturday night and we woke up Sunday morning being like we're gonna make the exact same thing, I don't know if we could put it together fast enough to put it out.
Everyone-
Why do we
Tuesday.
want to? You know,
Right,
like what?
yeah.
Everyone to the sketch minds. Like, no, there's no, we weren't.
I like to sit on content for a long time, especially like behind the scenes of Achievement Hunter stuff. Let's sit on it for a few years and then put it out. But it's always stuff that I know that no one else will make. Like no SNL's not gonna make the making of Garbo Man. You know, I think that's pretty safe within Achievement Hunter. So you could just sit on
You never know,
on that
though.
Musical guest, Garbo Man. God,
So yeah, if you guys see our short tomorrow, give it some love and just know that we're not ripping off SNL. And if anything, there's somebody working behind the scenes who probably stole our idea, and they should be shamed.
It should be a shame.
accusations.
I will say, yeah, we're letting fly with accusations. I will say, like, we made it last year, and then a worldwide pandemic happened. So I totally forgot about it until it was like, approaching, and then we started talking about doing it again or releasing it. And when they, editorial sent out the link to watch it again, I watched it and I was like, man, it still makes me laugh. There's a bit in it that Blaine does something very physical toward the end. He throws something and still cracks me up. So I still enjoy it. It's very fun. So I hope y'all enjoy it.
Yeah, I think people will still enjoy it. Just had to put that out there so that everyone's aware.
Yeah.
So I had something strange happen to me the other day, and I got to give a little bit of backstory for Andrew because he probably didn't hear the beginning part of the story, but I think Gavin and Barbara have. So a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago at this point, sitting in the living room and with my wife, and she turns to me, she says, there's a B under the coffee table. And I look, and there's like a small letter B on our rug under the coffee table. Which I know this sounds confusing, but trust me, just stick with me. There's a small letter B on the floor under the coffee table. And so I pick it up and I think, oh, that's weird, and throw it away. Then a couple of weeks later, from the kitchen, she calls me over. She's like, look. She points at the floor, and I look, and there's a small letter N on the floor. And I'm like, and it's the same font, same size as the letter B that we found weeks before that.
What's the material?
That's really strange. It's almost like maybe kind of like a rubber. It's soft. Yeah, you can fold it, and it doesn't bend. Like, it's not plastic. Like, that's really weird. So, like, the B I threw away. I didn't think anything about it. The N I took a photo of because I was like, okay, that's weird. Friday night, we were both standing in the kitchen, and I put something down on the floor, and like right next to where I put down the thing on the floor, we looked, and there was a letter S, and we both screamed. Like, we were both terrified now. I have a little image here. This is the N and the S next to the logo on my laptop for a size comparison. So
that's not where you found them.
That's not where I found them. I just put them there so you
just to see that they're essentially from the same thing. Clearly,
I am very glad that there are pictures of this. But there's some evidence because this 100% sounds like one of those like really really long stories that has like a punchline. Like it's one of those long jokes that goes on for like 8 minutes, and then there's like a punchline to it, and everyone who hears it goes, "You motherfucker!" Like they get super pissed. Yeah, no, good. So N S on the floor. Got it.
An S. We screamed. We still have no idea where these letters are coming from. So we think that there's some kind of spirit that's maybe trying to talk to us and is spelling something really slowly. So maybe we have to unscramble these words.
You have B and S so far.
Yeah, what word do you think that's going to be?
Beans.
Beans.
B, N, and S. Okay.
Snob.
It's got to be like you must have like a rubber mat or something that has letters in that you didn't realize, and you're stepping on them and it's lifting the letters out. What is it? What on earth is happening?
But here's the problem. So we don't wear shoes in the house, and the B was in the living room under the coffee table, and the N and the S were both in the kitchen, but on opposite ends. I mean, I guess they're relatively like maybe 10 feet apart from each other on the floor.
And no one's been in your house? Like you haven't had like work done in there?
No. No.
Did you have like something delivered to your house that might have had lettering on it?
I mean, the B was found at this point 2.5 months ago, maybe, and the S was just found on Friday.
And you guys are clean people. Sorry.
No board game.
It's got to be something so boring, but I can't imagine what it would be.
Okay, I'm now just like it's so like, you haven't solved this mystery. Like this is an ongoing mystery.
Right. I have to update everyone. I talked about the B in the end, so I had to update everyone with the S.
Okay, this is now like legitimate. Like this is I'm like fully invested. I want to find out what and you're absolutely right, Gavin. It's going to be like the most mundane, something you dragged something in, like something it was like stuck to something you bought on groceries or something.
Yeah,
just like
the problem is that everything gets vacuumed and cleaned very regularly around here. So it's weird that
that's what
weeks
confuses
between
me.
finding them. Right. It's not like it's been there the whole time and we just notice it. Like it wouldn't be there. It would have been vacuumed up. It would have been cleaned.
Have you checked your shoes?
That's what I asked.
But we don't wear our shoes inside. Like they get taken off at the door.
Have you checked the vacuum to make sure that it's not lettering coming off of your vacuum?
It could be dispensing them.
I haven't. I guess I should check the vacuum. But yeah.
Do you have a Gus? Let me ask you something very serious, and I mean you don't have to answer. Don't talk. Do you have a Muppet infestation? Because they could be trying to teach you something.
Oh, I don't know.
So what has that lettering on it? I can't even imagine.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll give you a little reference again.
Have you? Hold on. Did you ever see? Sorry, that just made me think. Did you ever see? There's an old that sketch group, The State. Do you remember The State?
Yeah, I remember The State.
Like mid late '90s sketch group. They had an old sketch called Muppet. Speaking of, they had Muppet hunting. And it's like this. It starts with the sketch. This like group. This two couples are sitting down to like eat. They're having like a little couples dinner. And it's like, this meat is so tender. But I've never tasted anything like it. It's like, oh yeah, it's Muppet. It's like, I'm sorry, Muppet. It's like, yeah, we're Muppet hunters. We've been hunting Muppet. And let me tell you, their meat is so delicious. It's like, how do you hunt a Muppet? Oh, it's really easy. And like the husband goes over to the window. I wish somebody would teach me about the letter B, and then a Muppet pops up. Well, I can, and he just slaps the Muppets and drags it inside. Very good.
Classic.
Oh,
BNS.
Good stuff.
we should make that into an RT short.
BNS.
Someone in chat said that it sounds like it could be a discount code for the Rooster Teeth store, which it's not. But that does remind me, today's the last full day to order things from the store if you want to get in time for Christmas.
Yep.
And
have you considered?
There's 30% off.
30% off too, yeah. So go take advantage of that.
Shit, yeah.
Have you considered that your wife may be screwing with you?
I would have, and I thought about it because she found the B and she pointed out the N, but the S we found at the same time. And her reaction of horror, like mine, was too genuine.
Eek! I'm frightened.
I wish I had footage of both you screaming. I bet it's adorable. It's like, oh, just holding each other. Oh God. Oh.
Do you have a chimney?
No.
It's got to be something coming off your vacuum or something your vacuum picked up and then is dispersing somewhere. Because
what brand has BNS in the name?
Snurub.
I like the way Snurub thinks.
Do you think Bernie's pranking you and he's just trying to spell out his name?
I see some people in chat have said Burns.
Burns.
That's very. You have yet to find the U and the R.
Right.
Because he did that. He conspired with one of my friends, Britta, many years ago. Gus and Gavin, you might remember this. But my friend Britta and I used to prank each other by hiding troll dolls in places. And so she shipped him a bunch of troll dolls and he would hide them around the RT office and like in my space and on my desk and stuff like that. And I had no idea for probably like 6 or 7 months who was doing it. So I wouldn't put it past him to be fucking with you with this.
So I mean, he could.
In chat here, who is this? Lulu Dominari says, I've had a similar thing happen to me. I had little letters popping up all over the place. Turns out it was my Corsair headset and the logo letters were falling off. So,
maybe do you have some fancy Bang & Olufsen headphones?
No, I definitely do not.
Because they've got those letters.
What brands have BNS?
It looks familiar though. Like that material and size and font looks familiar, and I can't place it.
People are saying backwards.
No,
B
but it was
backwards is D, but it was a capital B.
Capital
yeah.
B.
Capital.
It's so weird. All right. Anyway, there's no resolution to this. I'm just posing it out there. Something that happened. Think about it. Let me know if you can think of any possibilities.
Next season on Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Man, whoever. I'd be pissed if I bought Bang & Olufsen and the letter fell off.
Yeah. Shout out to whoever remastered the Unsolved Mysteries song, the theme song for the Netflix series.
Yeah.
Like they turned it into like something dark and insidious. Like before it was just kind of like, all right, it's the Unsolved Mysteries theme. Now it's like when that theme song comes on, it's like, ooh, this is scary.
Yeah, it's creepy. Have you watched it? Have you watched the news? I think there's 2 seasons of it.
Yeah, I've seen all of them.
The first season's really good, and because like a couple of the mysteries, the Unsolved Mysteries, the titular Unsolved Mysteries from the first season are like truly spooky. Like I'm like, okay, I don't have any idea like what happened here, how this like occurred, or what the like solution could be. The second season's a little different, where it's like, okay, this is unsolved, but the boyfriend totally did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like they haven't arrested the person they think's involved, but we're pretty sure it's this person.
There was one where it's like, this prisoner escaped from prison. We gave him money and regular clothes to go shopping at a mall, and he never came back. Like, well, that's not a mystery. He just left. Like you guys
disappeared.
gave him money and clothes, and he walked away.
Yeah, exactly. Man, wasn't that insane? That story that they're like, oh yeah, back in the 70s, we used to like let prisoners like prisoners wanted or that were arrested for like murder and rape. We used to let them for like good behavior. We'd give them money and let them go shopping in public. It's like, and they're in maximum security prison, but they got like afternoons to go shopping. And then of course, like one guy was just like, peace, and just like disappeared.
So we told him to come back by 2 p.m. When 2 p.m. rolled around and he wasn't here, we knew he had taken off. Like, well, of course.
Of course.
And also it's like, this happened 40 years ago. It's like, he'd be 75 or 80 by now. Like,
oh, man.
What a story to tell your grandkids. Be like, yeah, I murdered someone, I got put in prison. They let me go shopping, and I've been out ever since. It's like Granddad, you should go. You're a criminal.
Yeah, and it's an awful crime. Like he was like not a. It was bad. I think his crimes are like numerous and pretty messed up. Like I think he murdered a child. Like it was like,
oh my god,
and we just let him go,
especially to a mall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's children everywhere.
And they gave him money. It's absolutely bananas that he was like. That was like a program, and it was. Speaking of The Simpsons, really was. That's like, where's Sideshow Bob and that guy who eats people's faces? I'm right here, Chief. And he like gets on the bus. It's like, well, if anyone sees Sideshow Bob, if anyone asks about Sideshow Bob, I beat him to death. Like it's just like, well, we'll just let him go. It's fine.
There was in the town I grew up in. It's a small border town. A guy broke out of prison once. Oh, they're not prison, jail. Like the county jail there, and someone broke out of the jail by. There was a contractor who was on site I believe he was painting, and the inmate asked the contractor if he could borrow his truck to go to the convenience store to buy some cigarettes, and the contractor gave him the keys and let him drive out, and the prisoner took off.
Yeah, that happens.
Sometimes you just got to ask.
Yeah. Shoot your shot, bro. Go for it.
I just love the like, yeah, I'll give you the keys, but you better stop shifting your eyes back and forth. It's not inspiring a lot of confidence. Mind if I get the keys to go get some cigarettes?
If you could stop
you're doing it again.
Your fingers.
Oh, sorry. Stop wringing your hands. I'm not going to give you the keys when you're doing this.
Although you do make a good point. Very convincing.
I have a space question. If an asteroid plows through the Earth's atmosphere and lands on my property, is it mine, or do I have to give it to the government?
So mineral rights cover the minerals under your property. If these are minerals coming from above your property, they're not subject to mineral rights. So I believe I believe that you own it.
Because I feel like a lot of the stuff that doesn't break up entirely, if you have like a lump that's left over, it's always in some museum. You never really meet someone who's just got one. I feel like they're always handed over for study. But maybe that's because they land in public and not on private property.
Maybe just because people want to be like contributing to society and research and cool things like that, and they don't want to keep it for themselves.
You got something against people hogging asteroids? There's plenty of them, Barbara. There's loads of them.
So according to...
It's illegal, Gavin. It's
illegal.
Illegal.
According to Meteorite Market, if you find a meteorite on your land, the meteorite is yours.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
That's pretty
that
cool,
means
though.
that means Superman was legally the property of the Kent family.
He landed and he was already adopted. Like the paperwork was done on impact.
Yeah, it's like don't need this anymore. This paperwork. We're done.
Someone in chat asked if it's also littering, Gavin.
If the asteroid, space can litter. For
Oh,
sure.
like if the universe littered on your property? Who are you going to fine?
I feel like you probably wouldn't want it to land on your property. Those things pack a punch, man. They really come in with some wallop.
People have survived getting hit by them. There's like that famous story of, I think it was a woman who was taking a nap on her couch, and while she was napping, a meteorite burst in through her roof and hit her.
Yeah, didn't it like bruise up her leg really bad or something?
Yeah.
You don't have
If
to,
she's lucky,
by the
it
way,
was just that.
You don't have to say the roof. It didn't come in through the door or the side. Just like,
Well, it could have come in on a side-ish angle.
maybe it came in through the.
I guess the atmosphere would slow it down enough that it would just drop.
If you had maybe a really tall house and it came in through the side, but
It's true. I just like
that
it's
would be
like
quite
a
the
meteor
angle.
which came in through the floor. I don't know how. It's really weird. Came in through the pipes.
I saw it on my Ring doorbell, and then I said no one's home, but it still broke its way in.
Bing bong. Like look at the video. Just a meteor hovering there on fire.
Oh my
Let me
God.
open the
If you were playing baseball and you were sort of ready to catch a ball, but instead you saw an asteroid coming, would you switch and go for that instead, do you think?
No,
if it
God,
was
no.
like ball-sized?
I can't imagine how fast that thing would be coming in. I'm not going to try to catch that, and how hot it would be.
Well,
Probably be pretty hot.
Yeah.
Like that one that was caught on all those dash cams. Was it in Russia?
Russia.
Or something?
Russia.
Of course it was.
And it looked really
Always.
nice. It's like, ooh, it's coming across. But then, because it was so high up, people thought it was over. But then the shockwave of it coming through the atmosphere like blew out a bunch of windows, and like hundreds of people got injured.
Yeah. And that
Because
and that asteroid was only like the size of like a car. Like it was not like super big. Like, or it might have been smaller than that. It might have been like the size of like a beanbag chair or something. It wasn't terrible, which is how the thing I use for all my measurements.
I like the idea of using measurements that are just difficult to like. Oh, it's about the size of a pallet of sandwiches. It's like, no, that's not really standard.
There's no. It's that metric of those metric sandwiches. You psychopath.
Have you ever seen that thing that says like the human mind and the human body are so incredible that like you could look at something and even though you've never licked it, you would know exactly what it would feel like and taste like to lick that object.
Yeah,
like
if
this.
you've done it before, though, isn't it?
Not like if I look at this okay, I got hair all over
At
it.
this
If I
what?
look at this hairbrush, I have to
Yeah.
take my hair off of it. Like I've never licked this hairbrush, but I know exactly what it would feel like and taste like to lick this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I bet you have
agreed.
licked a hairbrush.
When?
Not this one. I have a licking hairbrush. I keep that over there.
Are you saying as a kid you never licked a hairbrush?
No.
It's just like when I look at my dick, I know what it would taste like to lick it.
I know, Barb. All giving shit aside, I completely agree with you. I think that's like a mild form of like synesthesia, like where you can look at something. I think so because like I have the same phenomenon, like, or I can look, like sometimes I'll be like kind of staring off into space or like just like zoning out and looking at something, and I begin to taste or like taste and texturally feel that taste and texture in my mouth, and I think that's a mild form of synesthesia.
Like,
where, like
I didn't know that was an uncommon thing. Like I could literally look at any object in my room right now and I would know exactly what it would feel like on my tongue.
yeah, me too.
I guess
I feel you.
is easy, but I don't think I could do taste.
Isn't taste just a very specialized kind of feeling?
I guess.
Like,
technically.
if you showed me if you show me a dog shit, I can imagine what it feel like. I have no idea what dog shit tastes like.
But you smelled it, right? So, I mean...
You mean you never licked dog shit as a baby, Gavin?
I mean, smell is different to taste. You can associate smells with taste, but if I've never tasted the thing...
No,
Like
metallic, nutty, bitter, disgusting. I think my mind could approximate it.
Yeah.
I don't want to live that. I don't want to think about it for too long.
Are
But
you eating shit or drinking wine? That was so detailed.
Metallic.
oh, really notes of kibble and
Bit nutty.
Like you would know exactly what it would taste like to lick like a metal handle somewhere. It's that like kind of like
I'm gonna.
Yeah, but I think that's just because I've licked metal before. I think once I've learned what metal tastes like, you apply it to all things metal. Jobs are good, and there's a ton of metal in your life.
Different
But
metal
I think
tastes different, doesn't it?
Yeah, aluminum tastes different than steel or iron or something because there's different like actual like mineral content that like makes up the thing, and your brain can definitely differentiate between that. Hi, you're tuned into Metal Taste, the taste of metal, the non-musical metal appreciation podcast.
I
what
feel
does
like
gold taste like?
it probably doesn't taste like much because it's not reactive, right? It's a very stable element. So I imagine
Yeah.
it wouldn't taste.
You got some metal there, Barbara?
this is a hair tie. I don't know why I like chewing on it. I think I just do it when I'm getting anxious about this discussion.
Where Gavin's gone?
All right, I've got some. I've got a little platter here of various
Things you can lick and taste.
tastings. Yeah, got all these different
my
metals
God.
that we can try.
Is that tungsten there at the end?
Jesus.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness!
that's why I'm struggling to hold it because the tungsten is bloody heavy.
You got a flight. You have a metal flight. Just like a
I
nice
think
little
would
taster's
any of these
palate.
kill me though? Like, should you lick magnesium? Probably
Shouldn't
not.
light it on fire.
That's not pure magnesium, is it?
Well, I don't know.
How
Is it
heavy
pretty
is
li-
it?
Is it pretty light? Magnesium should be pretty light, right?
Yeah, it's light as balls.
Oh,
This one doesn't piss about though. Oh, it's
What's
not
that
got the
one?
thing on the
See it.
front.
What is it?
which one? What's that one?
Oh yeah, that's I want to say that's tungsten.
Tungsten. Yeah.
Tungsten.
I
You
know
have any
what
lead?
that would feel like to lick.
You can lick lead.
Got no
That's
lead.
safe.
No lead, no gold.
Let me just snack on these paint chips. These
Don't-
pre-1978 paint chips.
I feel compelled to say real fast a quick correction. Apparently, meteorites are cool to only warm by the time they hit the Earth.
Okay.
Really? Cool to only warm?
Yeah. Apparently, since they're so cold in space for eons, they spend such little time getting warm in the atmosphere that it doesn't have enough time to go into the center, in the middle, the part that's left by the time it hits the ground. And people have reported coming upon meteorites that have just hit the ground, and they'll be coated with frost briefly, even if they fall like on hot summer days.
Whoa, interesting. I guess that makes perfect sense. The way that was phrased is just like they're so lonely in space, so cold for eons, just drifting aimlessly, rudderless
Even
through the
Earth
cosmos.
can't warm their cold hearts.
Hey, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. It's Eric. Hello.
Hey.
It's the guy who screwed up the graphic earlier. Hi, Eric.
Oh, don't worry. Andrew was late. Can you believe how late Andrew was? It was crazy. So is Gavin gonna lick the metals or is he not? Because we got them all the way here and then showed them off and then didn't. I just felt like kind of, I don't know if, blue balls was like the term necessarily for it, but I just felt like I was teased with tungsten and all of a sudden they were gone.
Look, Eric, it was a bit of a blue ballsing, and you would think I perfectly sculpted that conversation so I could pull out my flight of metals, but I don't really feel like licking any of them.
What about just one of them? Could you just lick one of them?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, what if I get some sort of tetanus?
But you're already touching them, so I don't understand how licking them is going to cause an issue.
I already know
Because
licking
them is my mouth.
it makes the back of my jaw like tingle thinking about that.
Me too. I'm having the exact same sensation.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like everything in my human nature, Eric, everything that I've learned in this existence there's something subconscious in me saying, "Don't lick the blocks of metal."
Do you want?
I should listen to it.
Do you want to know
isn't
what? Do you know what?
go
Want to
ahead.
know what I just googled? I just googled, is tungsten delicious?
Wow. Is the answer yes? We find out now by watching the Rooster Teeth podcast.
Eric, you wouldn't be over here licking my metals, would you? If you were in
absolutely
the
I would
same
would.
room?
absolutely,
Yeah, he
I would
absolutely would.
absolutely be licking those.
You guys
I
are
would
taking a
put it in
page right out of
mouth
my
like a-
fanfic.
It's like, I would be in my mouth like a gobstopper right now, like rolling
right.
around
Oh,
and banging
wait.
into cavities.
Wait. Pure tungsten can be a hazard, but tungsten jewelry, if it's jewelry grade tungsten, it's completely safe. But if it's raw tungsten, pure tungsten, it can be hazardous.
my hands.
Wait,
Okay,
waiter,
so which
waiter,
of
can we get
these-
some jewelry grade tungsten for the table? Thank you.
I guess there's probably cobalt in pure tungsten, or not pure, in raw tungsten. But if it's jewelry grade, it's cobalt free. So that's what actually gets you sick.
Okay, so of my 7 blocks, which is the safest to lick?
I would think things to the right hand side of the periodic table. Was it tungsten over there?
We've got magnesium, aluminium, Ti. What's that? Titanium, Fe,
Yeah.
iron, copper, zinc, and tungsten.
Sorry, in the like cartoon version of this, it pans across all those metals, and there's aluminum, and right next to it is aluminium. They have two,
Oh my
one for
God.
one for the British pronunciation and one for the American.
Is Fe iron or silver?
is
It's one of the
iron.
silver.
Iron.
It is iron.
Yeah.
I don't know
Silver's
my.
18.
Is there an element that's Nt to go with this one?
No, there is not.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
You could do
Unfortunate.
you could do nitrogen and titanium and have it be cunty.
Yeah, let me get a block of nitrogen.
yeah.
How cold would the
Uh,
room have to be?
Wasn't you remember there was a fake ad campaign for the Northern Territory of Australia that someone had made and posted online that would just said CUNT, like see you in Northern Territory, but it was the letter C, the letter U, N T.
See you next Tuesday is a popular
Love it.
phrase people say for that.
Oh, someone in the chat pointed out that I am drinking out of a copper mug.
You are?
Lick it.
Although
lick
I think it's stainless steel.
Yeah, lick it.
Father.
Okay, I'll lick this one. You ready, Eric? You got your balls ready?
Get your balls ready,
Yeah.
Eric.
Oh, my balls are prepared. By all means, please lick the cube for my entertainment.
Hey, he did it.
Yay!
Is it exactly how your brain pictured it would taste and feel?
It didn't really taste like anything, to be honest.
That's disappointing.
That was a
Bit of a letdown.
Tesseract.
Let me pour alcohol on my tongue to cleanse it.
Out of your copper mug.
Well then.
Well, that was all right. Well, now we know copper doesn't taste like much of anything.
I
Not
know.
really.
Get more blocks. How much would a gold?
Wait, why did you buy those? Where did you get those from? We kind of
Yeah.
glossed over that. What are those?
It's cool. Is it just like a paperweight kind of thing?
I just wanted some stuff for my. It was ages ago. It was years ago. I just wanted some little desk toys. And I
Yeah,
thought a
little
physical
tchotchkes.
representation. I think I saw it on Instagram or something. One of those crappy. I don't even know if it's real. They could not be those elements.
Well-
I've not tested them.
You didn't,
But-
you didn't take him to the lab?
You said the
Test
tungsten
my
was
tungsten.
heavy and the magnesium was light, so I mean, there
Yeah.
may be. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, is there a gold one on there? Because I guarantee you don't have like unless that set costs like $900, you don't have
No,
like a
that's what I
1
was
inch by 1
asking.
inch gold.
That would actually be cool to if. I just don't know the value. I don't have any gold. I don't know the value of gold. I assume gold of this size would be thousands of dollars.
They'd be very expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
But most like if it was gold, pure gold of like that size, it would like crumble and like fall apart because gold is an incredibly soft metal, which is why it's like usually like it's cut. They step on it. I'm using like street drug terms. Oh yeah, most gold is stepped on 2 or 3, 4 times before it sees any jewelry. So it's mixed with like
Yeah, that's why
nickel or whatever.
The golden pickaxe in Minecraft, it doesn't mine very much
God damn
before
it.
it breaks.
Nerd. Just kidding.
I mean, we could measure it and find the dimensions and figure out the value of gold of this size.
Go ahead.
Gold.
Ooh, a 1 inch by 1 inch.
Is it? Let me get a ruler.
I imagine it's an inch by inch, that cube.
1 ounce of gold is $1,800.
Whoa!
1 ounce.
Yeah. So I can't imagine how much
Two
that
and a
thing
half
would weigh.
centimeters. Yeah, that's just shy of an inch. No, it is an inch. Yeah, it's an inch.
Inch by inch, yeah.
Inch cubed
Inch cubed of gold.
How many ounces is an inch cubed?
of gold.
Okay, so 1 cubic inch of gold weighs 0.7 pounds. So that's 0.7 times 16. That's 11.2 ounces. That's 11.2 times 1,800. That would be $20,000 of gold worth of gold.
What?
Gavin, lick the $20,000 gold.
He doesn't have a gold one. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, that's way more than I guess. Yeah, I've just never really understood the value of gold.
I mean, we saw
That's gone up.
those gold bars. I know this is like not anything to do with reality, but in Tenet, where he had those gold bricks, and how much were they each of those worth? Like something crazy. So the fact that
I
a
haven't
1
seen
inch by
Tenet yet.
1 inch cube would be $20,000 is not surprising to me.
A gold bar, like you see like pictures like in Fort Knox, like a gold bar like that. I want to say those are like $300,000.
Something like that. Like a couple $100,000, yeah, at least.
I find that like gold bars are such a more I mean, it's outdated, but there's so much more compelling thing for people to steal in movies than like money, than just like than piles of cash. There's something like so like it's so much more interesting to like try to get away with stealing a bunch of gold because it's fucking heavy as hell. And it's shiny and glittery. There's like something I'm like, yeah, stealing a bunch of gold. Now we're talking. I don't know. There's something more romantic about it. Maybe that's what it is. Than just like we need to steal this safe full of money.
Where would you even
duffel
go
bag,
to
man.
like cash in that gold? You're like, I got this gold brick. Where do you go to be like, I want to turn this into money in my bank account now?
Cash for gold. You just mail it in. Mail in the bars to cash the gold.
Make sure you get
So I can
insurance on that
technically-
package.
Yeah.
We could potentially do a real Tower of Pimps for like 80 grand. I think I worked that out before, actually, back in the old Tower of Pimps days. That'd be a fancy desk toy. We should sell them in the Rooster Teeth store.
For 80 grand.
But we could not afford to give them 30% off like we can today at store.roosterteeth.com.
The Garbo sale, Garbo Tuesday, would actually be worth doing for gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. 1%. Be a
1%,
hell of a
oh
lot
my
of
God.
money for that.
I forgot to mention, like I said, today's the last day that you'd be able to buy something and get it shipped in time for Christmas from the store. But you can always get gift cards as well. I believe we have gift cards on there.
Yeah.
If you don't know
if you
what to
just
get exactly.
search, there's a search function on the store. You could just search gift cards and
Gift card, yeah. Meant to throw that out earlier, just forgot.
you could
Dang,
also one more thing before we move on, but you could also buy gift cards for first memberships for people as well now. That's like a brand new thing in the store. So if you have a friend who wants first membership, you could buy it for them in the store. Surprise. Merry Christmas.
Surprise.
There's that not to shill, but that Funhouse jacket that I did a photo shoot with Wes, and I had that like Funhouse bomber, that new Funhouse bomber jacket. I've been wearing that thing like it's great. I've been wearing that thing like crazy. I wear it like outside. I'm working out on my car, just like put that thing on. It's great. I love it. So, and you know what? It was great because like we do like photo shoots sometimes, and they let us like keep stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna take that home with me if that's okay. And it's getting tons of use. I really enjoy it.
It fell off
I
the
love that
truck
you're like-
right into your closet.
I've
Exactly.
worn it in such places as outside. It's been out there.
Yeah.
Listen, we're not going very many places, so
It's true. I mean, like really, it's like outside to work on my truck or like on a like walk around the block. And now that it's like we had like that week of like pure, perfect, brisk walking weather where it was
Yeah.
like
sunny.
sunny, but like a cool, cold breeze that would like blow through pretty consistently. Oh, just dream, my absolute dream. And yeah, that I was rocking that thing those entire walks. Just tremendous, fantastic.
It's a good jacket.
Yeah.
What would Gus? What would you be worth in gold by weight?
That's a good question. So we said, okay, got to do a little bit of math here.
You said it
Let's
was
say-
$1,800 per ounce.
Yeah, so let's say I weigh about 2880 ounces times
Well, what's an
1800.
ounce? What's a good What's a good ounce for scale? What weighs an ounce?
That's about $5.2 million in gold. A quarter. If you ever order a quarter pounder from McDonald's, the beef patty is 4 ounces.
So a quarter of a beef patty from McDonald's.
Yeah.
I would
That's
be.
what-
I just did my calculation. I would be worth in gold $3,686,400.
Wait, what's the
Yes, please.
what's the conversion?
So,
Sorry, what's the how much is it per pound?
We're estimating
1,800.
Yeah, 1,800. It's funny. I typed into Google. I typed 2880 times 1,800, and it's asking if did you mean 2880 by 1,800 the resolution? Like it's giving me like monitor specs here.
Man, it's weird that there's a value on shit that's just buried in the earth. I guess
You just
that's
gotta
all
get it
humans
out.
do. They dig up shit and sell it.
Isn't there like some weird stat where if you were to melt down all the gold that's ever been mined throughout the history of the world, like it wouldn't even fill a swimming pool or something like that?
That's right.
Yeah, so rare.
That's
Yeah, but that can't be right.
It's I heard that same stat a while ago, but I imagine it's still true.
I feel like everything that Goldfinger was trying to steal from Fort Knox would fill a pool.
So
what did you use the gold for? To buy a pool. That's what I wanted to buy.
Speaking of weight, too.
all of the gold discovered thus far would fit in a cube that is 28 meters wide on every side.
Wow.
28 meters.
What's a pool
28
usually?
meter cube.
Yeah, 90.
bigger than a
That's
pool.
about 90 feet, 90 by 90 by 90.
That
All
means
these different measurements.
you would be so rich, but it'd be really inconvenient. Like, how would you even start spending that?
You chip off a little bit every day.
Cash for gold. Send in.
Guys, I'm worth $5.8 million in gold.
Dude.
Damn.
So when someone says they're worth their weight in gold, that's a really good compliment because people
Yeah.
are heavy. People are valuable.
3.686.
People are heavy.
Speaking
When,
of,
at the end of The Outsiders, when they said "Stay golden, pony boy," wow.
Yeah. Homer, there's something different about you. Look closer,
18
Lenny.
karat gold. I say that way too often.
What would be so? What's more valuable than gold?
love.
So wait, okay.
Printer ink. I think printer ink might actually be the correct answer.
Wait, you think
ink?
printer ink of
No.
that would be $20,000? What are you talking about?
Bullshit.
Printer ink cost per ounce.
It's more than milk.
In 2013, Consumer Reports found that inkjet ink costs anywhere from $13 to $75 an ounce. So $1,600 to $10,000 a gallon. So yeah, you're right. Not as much.
It's a little different, but still quite expensive for what it is.
I mean, platinum always comes after gold in video games. Is that more valuable?
And records, yeah.
And records. Leaderboards.
Some people
Platinum
in
price
chat
is about
saying platinum.
$1,000 an ounce.
Oh, so it's close.
No, platinum's not. No. I mean, gold's 1,800. Gold's almost double.
What about uranium?
Yeah, it's going to be like some artificial element that doesn't exist naturally that, can only be produced. It's like Factorio, right? It's like it's going to be something that you can't find, that you have to find other things and then process over and over to get the other thing. And that's what's going to end up costing the most. Like when you're looking for U-238 to power nuclear reactors in Factorio, and you got to just like churn through tons of U-235 to find it.
You get like one every 100 or something.
Yeah, it was so rare. In my signal network, I would have alarms go off anytime U-238 got found. Like I would hear noises like, "Oh, I found some."
I missed that game. That was a fun game.
It's a good game.
Yeah, I think you just like hit on something that's like maybe like a bigger existential point. Is that just like the only reason anything has value is because we've all collectively decided it does. Like it's just like gold isn't like useful really for anything. It's not useful, but it's like shiny and we like it and we've like ascribed value to it. But like on a desert island, I would rather have a chicken is worth more to me than gold on like if I'm stranded on an island. You know what I mean? So it's just like depending on whatever.
Oh, you're making me want to watch more Survivor tonight.
You mentioned Survivor earlier. I meant to bring this up. I've been watching this season of The Amazing Race.
Oh, nice.
And last week, a team got eliminated, and one of the people who was eliminated was so mad that they have that end of the show banter where they're talking with him, and the host is like, so did you enjoy it? And the guy who got eliminated was like, no, I would never do this again. And the host is like, what do you mean? And the guy who got eliminated said, the money means nothing to me. I've already got money. I would rather have paid out of pocket and taken this trip than been on this show.
Oh my God.
Oh,
whoa. Fuck.
Wow, sore loser much.
Yeah, then his partner was like, he doesn't mean that. He's just mad right now. It's okay.
Jeez. If you already have money and you don't you go on for the experience, then I imagine. And to be on a television show and I don't know.
It's it was crazy to see.
Do you think people contestants on reality shows like Survivor or Amazing Race still get paid even just a little bit from the TV network because they are cast on a show that the network is making money on? Do you think they get some type of payment even if they don't win?
Bernie.
We should.
I don't know. Yeah.
Probably.
Hey, Bernie. Ow.
Oh, someone mentioned in chat.
Who was gonna talk about headphones?
Oh, we're about to wrap up soon, though. Those fucking stupid ass Apple AirPod Max headphones. How much are they?
Stupid.
500 and.
They're
How much are they? $530?
I think they're
$540?
I think they're $550 or $549, something stupid like that.
Only an idiot would buy those, and I ordered some.
What? I took one look at those. I thought, I bet they're good. They look nice. I've got headphones already.
The reason I ordered them is that I had an Apple gift card for $540 that I hadn't used.
Get the fuck out of here! What?
Because I had traded my phone into Apple some time ago, and in credit they gave me $540 in Apple credit, and I just had it and I hadn't used it. And they introduced these headphones which were like $550. I was like, oh, I can basically get these headphones for free, so I ordered them.
You turned a phone into headphones.
Right,
I just don't understand who they're competing with.
I ordered them the day they went on sale. They announced them in the morning or whatever. I ordered them at 3 p.m. or something. They're not estimated to ship till March. What the fuck are you?
I've listened to some pretty expensive Sennheiser studio some really nice music studio headphones, and it's nice, but man alive, is it just I don't know that it rocks your world enough to be $500 headphones. My God,
yeah, and it's weird because there are headphones that are headphones that are thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But I don't have a good ear for it. I'm not an audiophile. I don't know what I'm listening for. So my qualifier for good headphones is so low that it's why would I ever spend $500 on them when they're gonna sound like $150 headphones to me? I guess I got my nice Bose ones, my noise canceling ones.
That's what I was thinking in my mind. Was I already have that nice pair of Bose ones, which are honestly I've had them for several years and they're breaking. I needed to replace them anyway. Obviously I didn't travel anywhere this year, but when we do start traveling again, I'm gonna need a nice pair of noise canceling. In the past, I've always used the Bose ones, but it's I already had the credit. It's I basically paid $10 to replace my fancy headphones. And I'll probably replace these, the ones that I wear here every day when I'm working.
They also have some cool features that I think the AirPods Pro had, where you could change between noise canceling and I forget the term they use, but active listening, essentially. Something like that.
Transparency. It's
yeah.
It's amplify. It's kind of like a hearing aid, I guess.
Yeah, so you could hear your music really well, but you could also hear if people are talking next to you or across the room or something like that.
You can do Last of Us, listen for creatures in other rooms, for zombies in other rooms.
Hear through the walls.
Where it
goes, see their outlines.
Yeah,
that's why they're $549.
Yeah. Okay.
To protect you from
zombies.
Yeah, from clickers.
From clickers, yeah.
They do look cool, I will say, but just $549 for headphones for me is a little too much.
They look like every pair of headphones to me. They just look like
I will say if I didn't have that gift card, I would definitely not have bought those headphones. I think it's way too much.
I love the idea of getting those headphones and then being like me and listening to nothing but podcasts on them. Just like people talking. It's not even things that's like audio engineered to sound like symphonic. It's just like, oh yeah, it's my dickhead friends just being idiots on a podcast. It's like that's what I listen to most of the time.
I'm gonna wear them and play Minecraft with these guys.
Yeah, you will.
That'll sound perfect.
with headphones, the headphones with technology have always given me so much grief. I had a pair of headphones that were, I've still got them. I don't remember what brand they are. It was a part of something where I was provided them with something. But every time I turned them on, it would play, it would just start playing a song because it was paired to something. But I didn't know where or what the thing was. So I would turn them on and it would just play a song that I didn't own. And I couldn't ever put them on and just use them with anything. I had to like unpair them from the mysterious item that's playing this song to use them. And it was annoying. I just want to I want headphones that plug in and they play what I'm plugged into. I'm a simple man.
Simple man.
Speaking of plugging in. So those dumbass headphones that I bought don't have a 3.5 millimeter jack, right? Like they have lightning audio.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna want to plug them into a 3.5 millimeter jack, you need to buy an adapter. They shipped me the adapter right away. I've got that, but I've got like no headphones to use them in.
That alone is a reason not to get it. That alone is it. So
I mean, they're Bluetooth
if you want to use them
as well.
Right. Yeah.
If you want to use them with your computer, you need that.
If you're gonna plug them in,
You could probably
I've
do
got
Bluetooth on your computer.
Right. That's exactly what I'm planning to do. So I've got like a whole mess of cables.
I mean, it's just like the ones that used to come with an iPhone, right? They would have a lightning on the end. Couldn't use those with your own. You couldn't use those with your own Apple laptop.
Correct, which is so stupid. There's so many dumb decisions. Like,
I feel like we've been bitching about the same thing for like 5 years now.
Someone just mentioned
Yeah,
Twilight about ELO in the chat, and I have no idea what they're talking about, but I love ELO, so I just wanted to shout
I
that.
think you say it was that the song that would play every time he turned his headphones on.
It was some dubstep thing. I'm convinced Dan did it somehow.
That is a tremendous prank. If you had a device that would automatically pair with like Bluetooth devices and you hit it in someone's house, so anytime they anytime they powered up headphones, it would just connected, play, and they would just automatically play just something like, you know,
Porn.
just awful. Porn, yeah.
It's these ones here. These ones that I use for editing, which I plug directly in. That's how I use them. But if ever I'm doing Bluetooth, it'll play. It'll just play some song. I'll try and get video of it. They're dead right now, but I'll try and get video of the song.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. We've gone on far too long. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back next week. Yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll see you guys then. Bye.
Bye.